was weeping. Guys, there were a lot of tears in my eyes because I don't think that's always my usual response to this, but it hit me a bit different. I didn't understand that was not how I always respond. Hello everyone. Welcome back again to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Bible Study with Karen. So today I'm going to be sharing some of the lessons that I learned from my own personal Bible study these past weeks. We've been studying the book of Chronicles 1 and 2. And there's some of the lessons that I learned from the kings of Judah and the kings of Israel. But specifically today, we will be looking at King Hezekiah and King Sennacherib. The story is spoken about, I think, in the book of Kings and also Chronicles, or many Chronicles. And then it's also spoken about in the book of Isaiah, because Isaiah as a prophet existed or lived during that time of King Hezekiah. So I'll be sharing that story with you. Stick around and then let's see some of the lessons we learned from it. Thank you. So I'm reading from the book of Isaiah, chapter 37. But I will start from chapter 37 from verses 1. Maybe I'll just read a couple verses, then we'll see how to summarize the story and we get to some of the lessons. Verses 1 of Isaiah 37, it says, "As soon as King Hezekiah heard it, he tore his clothes and covered himself with sackcloth and went into the house of the Lord. And he sent Eliakim, who was over the household, and Shebna, the secretary, and the senior priests covered with sackcloths to the prophet Isaiah, the son of Amoz. They said to him, 'Thus says Hezekiah, this day is a day of distress, of rebuke, and of disgrace. Children have come to the point of birth, and there is no strength to bring them forth. It may be that the Lord your God will hear the word of Rabshakeh, whom his master, the king of Assyria, has sent to mock the living God, and will rebuke the words that the Lord your God has heard. Therefore, lift up your prayer for the remnant that is left." So, backstory. King Sennacherib sends Rabshakeh, I think he's one of his men. He sends him with a message to King Hezekiah. And he tells him, you know what, you need to surrender to Assyria. Surrender to Assyria, or see me destroy Judah or Israel. But still on the backstory, the way Rabshakeh presented the message was a mockery on God, the God of Israel, who is our God. He was mocking. He told the people of Israel, "Will your God save you?" I think let's read a bit of that and then see. You would actually see what I mean by how Rabshakeh presented a message in a way that was mocking to the God of Israel. In chapters 36, In the 14th year of King Hezekiah, Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, came up against all the fortified cities of Judah and took them. Took them. And the king of Assyria sent Ramshakeh. I hope I'm pronouncing the name well, but guys, we go. From Lachish to King Hezekiah at Jerusalem with a great army, and he stood by the conduit of the upper pool on the highway to the washers' fields. And there came out to him Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, who was over the household, and Shebna the secretary, and Joel the son of Asaph the recorder. And the Rabshakeh said to them, say to Hezekiah, thus says the king of Assyria, on what do you rest this trust of yours? Now we hear what he's saying. Do you think that mere words are strategy? He says. Do you think that mere words are strategy and power for war? Do you think that mere words are strategy and power for war? In whom do you now trust? He questions. That you have rebelled against me. Rebelled against who? King Sennacherib. Behold, you are trusting in Egypt, he asks. That broken reed, he says, of a staff, he continues, which will pierce the hand of any man who leans on it. Something to think on. Such is Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Excuse me. To all who trust in him. But if you say to me, we trust in the Lord our God, is it not he whose high places and altars Hezekiah has moved, saying to Judah and to Jerusalem, you shall worship before this altar? He mocks. We continue. 8. Come now, make a wager with my master, the king of Assyria. I'll give you 2,000 horses if you are able on your part to set riders on them. How then can you repulse a single caption among the list of my master's servants? When you trust in Egypt for chariots or for horsemen? Moreover, is it without the Lord that I have come up against the land to destroy it? The Lord said to me, go up again this land and destroy it. Then Eliakim, Shebna, and Joah said to Rabshakeh, please speak to your servant in Aramaic, for we understand it. Speak to your servant in Aramaic, for we understand it. For we understand it. Do not speak to us the language of Judah within the hearing of the people. They were trying to be a bit, like how you have a message for the king and try to be a bit private with it. Like, do not speak the common language that everyone will hear what you're saying. Let's see what Ramshakeh responded to how he responded to it. But Ramshakeh said, has my master sent me to speak these words to your master and to you? And not to the men sitting on the wall who are doomed, he says, with you to eat their own dung and drink their own urine. Guys, this was very sad while I read it. It's like those moments where you are faced with a situation in life and you are attacked in all corners and you are told of how much you are unable to save yourself or take yourself out of a situation. Guys, this is how Ramshakeh was speaking to Eliakim and Shebna and Joah. Eh, wow. Let's continue. Then Ramshakeh stood and called out in a loud voice in the language of Judah. Hear the words of the great king, the king of Assyria. Thus says the king, do not let Hezekiah deceive you, for he will not be able to deliver you. See the mockery. Oh, do not let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Guys, okay. Let me finish quickly. Then I start pointing out some of these things for you. The Lord will surely deliver us. This city will not be given into the hand of the king of Assyria. That's what he was saying. That let not Hezekiah lie you that, oh, trust in the Lord. This city will not be. Let me first pause and think about it. Like, guys, think about this. Like, while I was studying this, and I was like, God, like, this is a typical example of how people like can mock you for trusting God, for believing God to come out for you, to help you achieve that thing you're waiting for. It's the same thing here. I see how I see the similarities in how people will tell you, oh, you are still trusting God for a husband. Why don't you just get a child? Yes, people say those things. People say such things, and you're like, but and you're Christian? Not to say that those who got children or what or anything, but I am just only saying, as a Christian, as a child of God that you are, as a child that relies on God and His scriptures and what He tells us to do, there's a way we do things. There's a way we do things as children in the house of God. There's a way we do things. So it's the same thing with how Ramshakeh was telling Shebna, Joah, and Eliakim. He's telling them, hey, by the way, now he's speaking to anyone who could hear around Judah. He's telling them, let me tell you, let them not deceive you that they will serve you. We will destroy you. We're going to destroy and take this city. These are his words. Let's continue a bit. Do not, he says, do not listen. So he now gives a promise. He tries to deceive and say, you know what, you can submit to our king, KingSennacherib of Assyria. Your king cannot save you from us. See, we have done great things. See, we have destroyed cities around you. Oh, what do you stand to gain? Like, these are similar to the things that we go through every day of our lives. He then said, then each of you, he said, do not listen to Hezekiah, for thus says the king of Assyria, make your peace with me. Make your peace with people who don't trust God. Make your peace with things that don't align with what our God commands us to do. Make your peace. Guys, if our forefathers that came before us as Christians, that their sacrifice was to lose their lives, to be killed, to be burnt for the sake of the gospel, then which one is ours? In a time where we are free to worship, we are free to pray, ours is that even in our generation, even in the midst of many beliefs, many cultures, many people trying to press on and try to push their own opinions to us, our sacrifice is to believe the word of God more than we believe myths. You know, he says this. See now the next line, how he says, He says that then each of you will eat of his own wine, and each one of his own fig tree, and each one of you will drink the water of his own cistern. This reminds me, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of how they can tell you, or you can take the bribe. You can, when you accept the bribe, you can keep your job. Or, you know what? You're getting too old. Just marry anyone, even a Muslim, even a non-believer. That looks like what Sennacherib was saying in these lines. That so that, oh, you can have your children early. Oh, you will grow with them. So you can plan for them. Are they God? Let's quickly finish. Whew. He continues, until I come and take you away to the land like your own, a land of grain and wine, a land of bread and vineyards. Beware lest Hezekiah mislead you by saying, the Lord will deliver us. Has any of the gods of the nations delivered his land out of the land? So, now I've given you a background story. We have heard what the servant of Sennacherib, Ramshake, is saying to the people of Israel, the people of Judah, and tell them, oh, submit yourself. You cannot, you know. So when you go ahead and then read the whole of chapter 37, that is our major focus today. So now that I've given you a backstory, now you understand why in chapters 27, he tears his clothes. When Hezekiah heard, so Elahim, Joah, and Shebna, when after Ramshake had spoken, they quickly rush with the message to the king. And they tell him, they actually come when they had torn, is that right? Yeah. They had ripped their clothes because it was an abomination. It was never who mocks the God of glory? If you know the story of the children of Israel, the victories of how God fought for them. Like, so they come when their clothes are torn. It's an abomination. And that's how it was done then. So we see that when King Hezekiah hears that, he also seeks guidance. We see that he seeks actually Isaiah's guidance. So the whole of 37 talks about how Hezekiah seeks Isaiah's help. So he goes, I'll rush quickly to verses 14. He says, Hezekiah received the letter from the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up to the house of the Lord and spread it before the Lord. Spread it before the Lord. So, you know, this is something very great. He spreads it before the Lord and he weeps. He cries out so loud. And one of the lessons for me in this story, firstly, is how many times do we take the things and the challenges that we face before God? It's something to learn from. It's something to apply in our everyday life. Carry the thing that is overwhelming you before the presence of God. Lay it down. If it means to lay prostrate before God, and Give him your heart. That's what King Hezekiah did. That when you're faced with that challenge, I remember, yes, let me share. I remember, like, one of those days, I think it was at what there was a lot of things happening, and out of the blue, someone just started to say, "Oh, when are you getting married? You're getting so old." Not that I'm old, but then at that day, I felt so agitated. I felt so disturbed. I felt like something, in my spirit, is not okay. I remember my eyes were wailing with tears. I felt it was very heavy. On a normal day, I would actually just laugh it off, and I'd be like, it's okay. It's okay. God has done this. So I returned home. I remember that time I just came home. There was not yet anyone at home. I opened the door. I didn't even go to the room or change it. I just put my bag down. I lay down. I was weeping. I was crying. I was saying, God, like, guys, I don't know, like, I can relate with King Hezekiah. I was all weeping. I remembered Hezekiah's story. I was like, literally, there were tears in my eyes. I was just weeping. I was like, God, you know what? What that person said, that's very insulting. The way that I actually can't repeat how they said it, but it was very, very harsh. I was like, God, I am here. I am here. And I'm encouraging you today from Hezekiah's story. Can you trust God? Can you lay down every situation? Please lay down. I was weeping. Guys, there were a lot of tears in my eyes because I don't think that's always my usual response to this. But it hit me a bit different. I didn't understand that was not how I always respond, because I'm like, God is faithful. God is very faithful. I lay down, I was weeping, I was crying. And at the same time, I was actually having my audio Bible running. And then while I was crying, Isaiah 34 was playing on audio. And then when it reached that verse which says that none of them, I the Lord have spoken, none of them shall lack their midst. Like a light bulb came on. It felt like life was pumped into me while I was weeping and crying and telling God, you know what, I couldn't confront that person. I can't speak to them a certain way because of how they are, who they are. They are an elder. I cannot speak to them a certain way. And I was just lying and weeping all out the frustration, the discouragement, the things I was feeling inside. Guys, I was feeling heavy hearted. I lay down prostrate on my living room and I was just like, God, here I am. I can't deal. It felt like it was too much, as if I have not had that before. I don't know which place I was in that day. But then while the audio Bible was playing, Isaiah 34 played, and that particular verse in that chapter, and I hear God's voice tell me, I, the Lord, have spoken. These things that I've said shall come surely to pass, and none shall lack their meat. Like, guys. You know that thing? I don't know if you guys experience these things where you all have ways in which God speaks to you, and that's how God spoke to me. So I learned to lay the things down before God and ask Him to have His way, ask Him to take over, ask Him, God, you can do this for me. Guys, do not hold things that disturb you. Lay it before God. Lay it before God, and He surely. When you read the chapters after, we see that after Hezekiah actually laid the thing before God, in the night, an angel went out into the armies of the Assyrians, killed thousands of soldiers. And in the morning, Hezekiah wakes up and finds dead bodies. If you read the whole chapter 37, I'm just rushing because I don't want the video to be a bit long. So the other thing that we learn is God cannot be mocked. God, do not put yourself in those places like King Sennacherib did. You cannot say God, you cannot say those things. God is almighty. And do you know why God is called the Most High? Couldn't there be a thing like high, higher, highest? But when it comes to God, we say He's the Most High. He's higher than any high thing. I say it again. He is higher than any high thing. So never say things against the God Almighty. He is sovereign. He is powerful. He is supreme. His truth is absolute. Guys, those are some of the lessons. We see that God fights for His own. I want you to trust God. It also shows that God can be trusted. God can be trusted. Trust God with your life. Trust God with your situations. Trust God with everything that you go through. Trust God with your life, guys. There are testimonies in this book that show us that God can be trusted. I encourage you today, if you're going through a situation, you're going through a circumstance, you're going through things, you don't know how to do it, do as King Hezekiah did. Lie prostrate, lay those things before God. Tell Him, you know what, God, I do not know how to do this, but I trust you to come out for me. Guys, we've come to the end of our Bible study. I hope you have learned. I hope you have learned one or two things. I really enjoyed studying King Hezekiah. Though there are many other things too, but that is not for today. Today was just that part where he trusted God. Guys, you can trust God. You can give Him your life. You can trust Him with everything. God can be trusted. Don't rely on your own strength. Don't rely on your own ability. Don't say, oh, I have a lot of connections. God is the best connection you can ever have. Yes, God is the best connection you can ever have. I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming to the end of this video. I encourage you to subscribe. I encourage you to like, to comment, to share. You can also share some of the things that you have learned in your own Bible study. So today was Isaiah 37 that we have studied. Go back and do your own study. Check, there are many more things in there that can light up your world, bring color into your world, and give solution to each and every challenge that you face in life. Thank you guys for watching this far, but please ensure to like, share, subscribe. Actually, we were running something. We wanted to hit 300 subscribers this week. Please help us get there. Help us reach 300 subscribers. We are now at 289 subscribers. Thank you very much. I will show up for you. Like, every subscriber matters. Thank you guys. See you guys in our next Bible study video. Bye.